The carts make their way onto the first of two formation laps then here at Adria for the International Open. After several days of testing, a fantastic day of racing yesterday and the pre-finals, we've arrived at the final race of the weekend for these juniors. Still the seniors and DD2 to come, but this one should really get us off to a flyer because the juniors are always entertaining. So there on screen, if you're watching on the live stream, you can see the grid. Simmons and Hoggard on row 1, Charpentier and Gamble on row 2, and Scholl and Slavinsky rounding out the top 6 after success in the pre-final. Simmons and Hoggard coming from the 3rd row of the grid to finish 1st and 2nd in the pre-final. And the pre-final was absolutely amazing. We had drivers overtaking each other on every single corner for the first 5 or 6 laps. Drivers going up the order, down the order, coming back again. It was totally unpredictable. And it is hard to tell who is going to win this race. Anybody in that top 10, absolutely capable of doing it. There are 1 or 2 others that might spring a surprise as well. But you've got at least 10 drivers that could easily win this race. It's the International Open. It's a one-off event, so there's no championship points to think about. It's just a case of going for it. And the top 2 drivers from this race will get a place in the grand finals in a couple of weeks' time in Portugal. Scott Simmons has already qualified for that event via the Euro Challenge because he finished 3rd in the Euro Challenge. He's here to try and get on a podium, as he says, but he's already qualified. So Scott Simmons in number 46, the pole sitter, if he finishes in the top 2, he's already got a place via the Euro Challenge. So it would be somebody else that would pick up the place. So if he's in the top 2, whoever finishes 3rd will pick up the extra ticket. Even if a driver is qualified for the grand finals via another championship in national competition, that doesn't count towards this. It's only if you qualified via Europe that your place is already taken. So it's only Scott Simmons that will affect that. He's about to lead them round, ready for the start of the race. It's going to be a 14-lapper, and it gets underway first time on the way to turn 1. Scott Simmons, good at the start. He runs a bit deep into the corner. He's just about scrambled it together. Jonathan Hoggard is trying to stay with him around the outside, but the 2 Strawberry Racing drivers, Tom Gamble and Axel Charpentier, have got in between them. So it's Scott Simmons that leads from pole. Charpentier in 2nd, Gamble 3rd. Gamble having a look up the inside on the way into the hairpin at turn 4 to get past his teammate, and he goes 2nd. So Gamble 2nd, Hoggard in the black race suit trying to come around the outside and squeeze in between them. But is the signal given? They're all slowing down a bit by the looks of things, apart from the race leader, who's miles clear. And are they being told to slow down and restart? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The signal has only just got through to Scott Simmons, the race leader, and everybody else picks up the signal now as they come through turn 6 and 7. So it took a while for them to realise. It took a while for the message to get to them, but they are being told to go round again. Now, they might have to go round again because Scott Simmons is way clear of them. And if they start now, it's going to be completely to pot. So they'll have to do at least another formation lap. They can see at turn 2, Scott Simmons. And only just over the start-finish line go the rest of the field now. So he'll crawl around turn 2 and wait for them to catch him up. So, yeah, by the time they get to turn 3, he'll be back with them now. So there he is, just slowed down enough. So a restart, a full start that. But it took about 4 corners before anybody realised. So, second bite of the cherry for some of the drivers that didn't have such a good start. Others will be a bit miffed about that if they'd already made a good start. Scott Simmons off the line well. He went a bit deep into the corner. Problem with being on the inside, the only problem with being on the inside, you take a slightly tighter line than maybe you want to the first corner. And you tend to run out wide a bit on the exit to turn 1. But he held the lead from pole. And Jonathan Hoggard, I know he dropped to 4th, but he did a good job, kept his foot in around the outside and was battling away with the 2 Strawberry Racing drivers. There are no big dramas, but Thomas Liner, the race director, and the officials were not quite happy with the way they were bunched up. So they're asked them to send them round again. The front row drivers now control the pace, back everybody up. They have to wait until they cross the yellow line 20 metres before the start-finish line before they can hit the accelerators hard. Otherwise, it spreads the field out too much. And, of course, no overtaking until you get to the start-finish line. Ready, then, hopefully, for a rolling start. most of the times this weekend. They've started first time. We've only had a couple of full starts. It's been pretty good. Let's see, it looks pretty tidy, and away they go again. Scott Simmons with a good start. Jonathan Hoggard is staying on his bumper here and trying to go around the outside, but he's going to lose a place, I think, to Axel Charpentier. Tom Gamble doesn't make quite such a good start this time, and he drops out wide at turn 2 and loses quite a bit of time as well. Loses a few places. Nicholas Scholl has made a good start, though. He's up to 4th place, and Luke Hyde is up to 5th position. Tom Gamble is way down in the pack, just about on the fringe of the top 10, I think, here. So Scott Simmons leads, but there's going to be a change up at turn 5 as Axel Charpentier goes through. Jonathan Hoggard has got the inside line onto the next corner, though, at turn 6, and Hoggard will go through into 1st position. And the pole sitter has dropped back to 4th place by the looks of things. Nicholas Scholl, I think, has gone into 2nd in the scramble out of the hairpin at turn number 6. And Charpentier, I think, is 3rd with the pole sitter Scott Simmons down to 4th place. So good start first time around, not quite so good this time, I'm afraid, but plenty of time to catch them back up. Over the line they go. Hoggard, Charpentier, Scholl, Simmons, Slavinsky, the top 5. Little bit of contact for the on the back of the race leader there, Jonathan Hoggard into turn 2. Little nudge, but it's all okay as he comes into turn 3. Our top 6 are together. Luke Hyde at the back of the lead group. Then a gap back to Tamer Kerman-Shashi, who's made a brilliant start and has come all the way up to 8th place. So Kerman-Shashi has gained 7 positions on the first lap of the race. He's up to 7th place. Padana Manang is 8th. Tom Gamble dropped back to 9th place at the end of the first lap, as Yannis Slavinsky now makes a move for 4th place. Little bit of wheel banging as they go through the corner into turn 7, and that splits them into 2 groups of 3. And then there's a change of lead up at turn 9. Is that Scholl? Yeah, Scholl going through into the lead of the race. Charpentier with him as well, and they've both now got ahead of Jonathan Hoggard. So already 3 different leaders in what's, I'm sure, going to be a frantic race here with the juniors. Across the line they go. It's actually Charpentier with his nose in front. Very similar liveries, so quite hard to make out in the distance, but when they come past me, it's definitely Charpentier from Scholl. Stays like that at turn 2. Hoggard is 3rd, Simmons is 4th, Luke Hyde is in 5th place, Yannis Slavinsky is in 6th, Tamer Kerman-Shashi 7th, and Tom Gamble's just gone back up to 8th. He could still do something here, as long as the leaders don't get away, as Jonathan Hoggard gets a good run out of the hairpin and goes 2nd now. So Hoggard back up to 2nd. He's been in 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th in this race. He's back up to 2nd, and we've got the top 7 together now, and Tom Gamble is coming back into the mix here, catching them up just behind in 8th place. He's got a clear run in front of him, and he'll set a quick lap time here. The fastest lap so far belonging to Kerman-Shashi. He's set the best lap of the race to date. Here we go then, out of the last turn, and this is where all the slipstreaming will happen, although Charpentier has got a bit of an advantage. He's okay at turn 1, but he comes under pressure at turn 2, and through comes Jonathan Hoggard down the inside, back into the lead of the race for Hoggard. Charpentier back to 2nd position. Scholl there in 3rd place. 4th place is Scott Simmons, don't discount him. And then 5th, 6th, 7th all together as well. Luke Hyde, Yannis Slavinsky, Tamer Kerman-Shashi having a really good drive here. Gamble, Minang and Lepper rounding out the top 10. And as I suspected, Tom Gamble has just set the fastest lap of the race, 52.1. So he's catching that group of 7 who are all together for the lead of the race. So watch for the number 54 cart, Tom Gamble, who, don't forget, was up in the top 3 at the start of the race and only dropped back with that one incident, but he's very, very quick. So Gamble coming after them, and now Jonathan Hoggard is the one that gives a tow to Charpentier. Charpentier drafts past him into turn 1. Scholl goes with him, and Hoggard is demoted to 3rd. So it's the 2 Strawberry Racing drivers from the 2KR Sport drivers, and then it's Yannis Slavinsky for Dan Holland Racing in 5th position, and Luke Hyde for Dan Holland Racing in 6th. So 3 from each team. A change for 2nd at the hairpin. Hoggard splits the Strawberry men, and then Scholl gets him back on the way into the right-hander at turn number 5. And that allows the race leader a bit of breathing space for the first time. There's a cart that's come to grief up at the top of the course. That's going to be out of the race. But most of them still going as we go side by side again here for 2nd place. Nicholas Scholl just about hanging on to it as they came out into turn 9. So Scholl 2nd, Hoggard 3rd. And then in 4th place, Slavinsky, I think. So when they come back around, we'll double check that. Yep, Hoggard 3rd rather, behind Scholl, Slavinsky. And Tom Gamble's come up to 5th place now, and he's almost with them. So 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th all together. Scott Simmons is the one that slipped back a lot, down to 9th place on that lap. And as I say, you lose a place or 2, you can easily lose 4 or 5 places in one hit, because you get offline, or you're forced offline, and there's a big train that comes past you. Luke Hyde trying to get back ahead of Tom Gamble, and in doing so he runs wide into the next turn, and I think that's Tamer Shashi that's got past him. So Tamer, I think, will be up to 7th place when they come back around, and continuing his very good drive up the order. But at the head of the field, Axel Charpentier has just got on with it while they've all started fighting, and is trying to give himself a nice big advantage into the second half of the race. But Nicolas Scholl has got to get his head down now and try and catch the leader. So Scholl 1.2 seconds behind, and Nicolas Scholl was 0.3 of a second quicker on that lap. Change for third place just behind as through goes Giannis Levinsky. So head down for the Belarusian. Good move then into turn number 2. Jonathan Hoggard drops down to 4th. Tom Gamble is 5th. Tamer Shashi is indeed up to 6th place now. Padana Manang is 7th, Ville Uito is 8th, Luke Hyde 9th, Mark Kimber is coming back after a slow start to the race, and he's in 10th place. Tom Gamble has the fastest lap of the race. It's a 51.8 now, and the race leader is up at turn 9. So first on his own, second on his own and closing the gap. And third place now, Giannis Levinsky is starting to break clear of the pack just behind him, which is shuffling around on the run from turns 9 to 10, and 1 or 2 other changes of position just behind the lead trio. Now, 4th and 5th, nose to tail over the line. Tom Gamble and Tamer Shashi, who's come from 15th on the grid, stays 5th, can't get by. So Tom Gamble hangs on to 4th place for the time being. And then coming back to the head of the next group is Jonathan Hoggard, who's now number 78, down in 7th place. So Jonathan Hoggard, who led the race briefly at one point, is just trying to keep those in that train behind him, gather his thoughts, and then try and go after the leaders ahead of him. Mark Kimber and Scott Simmons just behind him as well. So the 2 front row men, it's not going well for them, I'm afraid. Simmons, the pole sitter's down in 10th. Hoggard from 2nd on the grid is down in 7th place. Now, the lap time difference you can see there is starting to come down between Charpentier and Scholl. He's been 0.3 quicker for the last 2 laps. Through they go again, and again he's more than 0.3 of a second quicker. So that's 3 laps running now that he's been 0.3 quicker. You can see it on the screen. Lap 6, lap 7, lap 8, 0.3 quicker. That means he's caught up by a second now, and 0.4 seconds at the start of the lap was the gap from first to second. It is less than that now, and they're only up at turn 5, so he's almost with the race leader. There you can see the top 2 on screen. It's lap 9 of 14, making their way into the right-hander at turn 6, immediately into this left at 7, slight downhill run there, and then a little climb up towards turn 9, and then down again into turn 10. And all the time, every corner, Nicolas Scholl, number 16, is starting to close the gap to Axel Charpentier. These have been the two of the 3 or 4 drivers that have looked really likely to win from the go this weekend. And Nicolas Scholl is now with the race leader as they go through turn 1. He's close enough to pick up a toe. Is he going to go for it? He can't, because Axel Charpentier defends beautifully. He's not over defensive. He just puts the kart in exactly the right place and holds on to the lead of the race. Slavinsky is under pressure for 3rd as well from Tom Gamble. Nicolas Scholl gives a little tap to the race leader. Slavinsky takes the inside line, but he's deep into the exit of the corner, and Tom Gamble passes him on the exit of the hairpin to go 3rd. So Gamble back up to 3rd place now, and if he can have a good lap here, he might just have a chance of still winning this race, or at least getting in the top 2. Don't forget, the top 2 will go through to the grand finals. You want to win the race, but top 2 would do it. So Gamble has got nothing to lose now. He might as well go for it and give it everything to try and catch the top 2. On to lap 11 of 14 we go. And at the lead, we've got Axel Charpentier, but right with him, shadowing him, is Nicolas Scholl. Gamble goes through. Same sort of lap time, really, but there was some overtaking. So we'll take a judgment on this lap as to whether Gamble, we think, can catch the top 2. Certainly if they start battling each other, he might be able to do it. Tamer Shashi looking pretty handy indeed in 5th place as well. He's on the same pace as the leaders, but the top 6, and Ville Uito is now into 6th place. The top 6 are all doing the same lap times at the moment, all in the 51.8s and 9s by and large, just about a 1/10 of a second between all of them in terms of their performances. So Uito is 6th, Hoggard is 7th, Yu Young Sun has come up to 8th place, Luke Hyde in 9th, Mark Kimber in 10th, Scott Simmons from pole just outside the top 10 in 11th place. So disappointment for him, I'm afraid, as we go on to the 12th lap of the race with Charpentier and Scholl, and Nicolas Scholl couldn't be any closer, but he still can't find a way through. You get the sense that Giannis Levinsky is following Tom Gamble rather than battling him, hoping they can work together to catch the two ahead. 51.5 for Tom Gamble last time around. He was 0.2 of a second quicker than the leading pair. So he is catching them, not hugely, but he is catching that gap. And if he can keep doing this, Gamble might just be with them when we get to the last lap of the race. And if he gets to them, well, he'll go for it, I'm absolutely sure, as Tom Gamble has not been shy of overtaking this weekend. When an opportunity has presented itself, he's always gone for it. Coming out of turn number 10 then, and we're coming into crunch time now. We're about to start the penultimate lap of the race, 2 to go. Tom Gamble's going to do it. He's going to have to do it on this lap to close the gap. What about Nicholas Scholl? Will he settle for second and a place at the grand finals, or will he be desperate to win the race? Will he risk it all? We're about to find out in the next minute and a half, because that's all that remains in the race. And Scholl goes for it, down the inside into turn 4. He's into the lead of the race, Nicholas Scholl. Through he goes. Charpentier trying to get back, but can't. And already you can see how much closer third and fourth are. We're going to have 4 of them together here at the end of the race. Tamer Kermode-Shashi has got Jonathan Hoggard right with him for 5th place as well, with Uito and Yang Sun just inside that battle. But let's look at the top 4 with a lap and a bit to go. And this is going to be down to the wire. Tom Gamble is with them now. Giannis Slavinsky is 4th and ready to pick up the pieces. The last lap board is held out. Charpentier is defending his 2nd place here from Tom Gamble. Tom Gamble is also trying to fend off Slavinsky. They go all together into turn number 2 and nobody makes a move. So less than a lap to go. Nicholas Scholl leads by 2 lengths. 2nd place, Axel Charpentier, desperate to qualify for the grand finals. Tom Gamble is not going to settle for 3rd if he can help it. Giannis Slavinsky swarming all over him though in 4th place, which is a distraction. Jonathan Hoggard has got past Tamer Kermode-Shashi and leads the 2nd group now in 5th place. So it's Scholl, Charpentier, Gamble is dropping back if anything. Oh, Gamble slows, Slavinsky runs into him. Gamble's got a problem. Slavinsky ran into him because he slowed down so much, and Slavinsky's gone into 3rd place. But at the head of the field, Nicholas Scholl has got 1 more corner to go. Here's the checkered flag, and the Austrian wins. Nicholas Scholl takes the checkered flag. 2nd place to Axel Charpentier. 3rd place, Giannis Slavinsky. Tom Gamble 4th. Jonathan Hoggard 5th. Yu Yang-san completes the top 6. And that was a fantastic drive by Nicholas Scholl. He was up against it after the pre-final, but he stayed positive. And well done, Axel Charpentier. He's also made it through to the grand finals after a disappointing, to say the least, final round of the Euro Challenge. That will have really made up for it some distance. So well done, both of those drivers. They've been up there all weekend long, and they're the 2 that will be through to the grand finals. Nicholas Scholl and Axel Charpentier. Well driven, Giannis Slavinsky as well. He did a good job there. Tom Gamble definitely with an issue with the kart on that last half lap, dropping back to 4th place. So that's Strawberry Racing 1-2. Scholl and Charpentier. For Dan Holland Racing, Slavinsky rounds out the podium. Tom Gamble 4th. Jonathan Hoggard 5th. Yu Yang-sun comes home in 6th place. 7th place was Tamer Kermode-Shashi. 8th place, Ville Uito. 9th place, Scott Simmons. And 10th place in the end was Pradana Minang. There you can see the rest of the results on screen. Just to give you the rest of the top 15, Ruben Delsart was 11th. Luke Hyde, I'm afraid, dropped to 12th. Laurie Leppert, 13th. Tom Canning, 14th. Mark Kimber dropping down to 15th place. And most of the drivers, apart from Justus Jonas, finished the race. And there was a non-start for Sebastian Estner. And finally, the fastest lap went to Tom Gamble, 51.505. So many congratulations to your race winner here in the juniors in the International Open. It's Nicholas Scholl, and joining him at the grand finals. Well done also to Axel